I've personally made over $5 million with the agency business model, but today I'm going to be starting an agency from scratch to prove to you guys how quickly you can start making money as an agency owner. Now I'm going to be going at this completely alone, getting into the trenches by myself. I won't leverage any existing team members or any of the assets I've created over the years. We're going to be hitting this with the very basics so I can show you a realistic journey to going out there, starting a company and signing up your first client. Now I'm going to attempt to do all of this in just 4 days. So it's going to be very interesting. And what's more than this is after I've built the agency and after I've signed up a client, I'm going to be giving away the entire business to one of you guys who are watching this series. Check out the comments and look at the pinned one to see how you can enter. Okay, let me show you the plan. So I created this Figma board, which basically goes through every single step that I've got to take in order to launch this brand new agency from scratch, reach out to clients, sign one up, and then deliver results, okay, in theory. And the way I see it, agencies are broken down into 3 core areas when they're first starting. We have foundations, so these are things like your niche, your service offering, your logo, your website, your branding, and all of that. We then have getting clients, so we have lead generation, we have outreach, we have actually having meetings and then signing up a client, and then we have delivering results, so onboarding that client and delivering your service to them. So I'm going to give you the whole top-down view. We are going to be going through this plan in chronological order over the next few days. I have a limited amount of time I can dedicate to this. I've budgeted 4 days, hopefully max, in order to sign up a client and deliver results. And I want to show you that entire process, okay? So you can be empowered to go out there and do this for yourself, okay? I want to show you that this can be straightforward, and I'm going to give you the ups and the downs. It's just going to be like, this is unplanned, obviously. So we're going to start off by choosing a niche. Okay, now I am going to reach out to people in the local area. I live in Norwich in the UK. You always want to start off local regardless of where you are. I've got a couple of ideas, but I need to validate that by doing some research. I need to look into the other agencies in my area. I don't want to go for a niche which is oversaturated. So I'm going to do some research. I'm going to establish the ICP, so the ideal customer that we're going to be reaching out to, the ideal client that we want to sign up. I'm going to decide on the service. Okay, so what service is going to be perfect for this specific niche? Come up with the agency name, create the logo, and create the website. And I'm going to attempt to do all these foundational work in this 1 day today, because I want to show you guys that you do not need to waste weeks and procrastinate on building out that stuff. We're going to do it all today. We're going to use AI tools and so on to get it done as quickly as possible. Okay, getting clients. Next thing I'm going to have to do is build a lead generation strategy. So we're going to build a big lead list, and then I'm going to have to build an outreach strategy to actually then go and reach out to those individuals and try and sign them up. I will try and get meetings with them. I don't know whether I'm going to do emails, cold calls, or DMs at this stage. Probably a mix of the 3. I always follow a multi-platform strategy and hit people from all angles. But the goal is going to be getting some sales meetings in. I'm going to record those on Zoom, and then hopefully we can sign up a client so I can then document the process of delivering results. So onboarding the client, developing an offer, establishing their ICP, then building a marketing plan for them, launching some ads, and getting some results for them. So this is the plan, and this is a monumental amount of work to put into 4 days of work. I don't think anybody's ever attempted to do this on YouTube. I want to show you guys exactly the entire process, and you can replicate this for yourself and empower you to actually go out there, do this, and finally launch the agency you've been thinking about. Cool, so let's work through this. I'm going to be highlighting these green as we're working through them so we know what stage we're at. We're going to start off with choosing the niche. Now, obviously, there's hours of work to do here, so I've got the screen recorder on. I'm just going to let it rip. I've got a couple of cameras set up, and then we'll just mash together whatever we deem to be the most useful information as we progress through this. So, choosing a niche. First thing I want to do is I'm going to find whatever agencies in my area, because I want to just establish if there are any niche-specific marketing agencies. I know I will start off with ads, probably my service. Let's just have a look at ad agencies and just see if there's anyone competing over just a specific niche. No, these guys seem to be pretty generalist. Again, kind of generalist, full service, generalist. So you notice how many agencies are generalists. Like, not enough agencies specialize in one niche, and that's really the secret to large scale. Specialize in a specific niche. The upside is so much greater. And these guys look like they're brand and marketing agency. These guys look like they're pretty generalist based on the clients that they've worked with. No, so we don't really have, and this is the first page of Google. Anything other than that, I'm not really worried about. If it's a smaller agency, it doesn't really look like we have any agencies that are specializing in a specific niche, especially based on the names. What I'm kind of looking at as well is, okay, are any of these agencies like named after a specific niche let's say, but they're all pretty generic, like yawn marketing, quickfire, method marketing, like KH Digital, Coder Agency. Like these are all pretty generic names. There's like no niche specific names here. And I want to go for a niche specific agency for sure. Like if we want to have an in and we want to sign up a client as quickly as possible within a specific niche, then the goal is going to be really let's make it as niche specific as we can when it comes to the branding. Okay, so let's just go for this. So we've established that there are no major niche-specific competitors in the area. So there's no niches to avoid as per se. So let me run you through the niche that I'm thinking of going for and the rationale behind that. So Norwich is not actually that far, even though it's kind of in the sticks, it's not that far away from London. It's actually about an hour and a half train, which makes it attractive for all the people that are looking for houses outside of London so they can just get a train into London and actually go to work. Okay, so London's extremely expensive, for those of you who don't know, real estate-wise, crazy expensive. And so people look to live out in the countryside, further afield, but where they can still have a direct access to work. Norwich is one of those places. So the real estate market is absolutely booming here. There are so many estates and so many new houses being built up all the time because people want to come and move here. So estate agents would be a really good niche. Real estate would be a really good niche here for an agency. I don't want to do that because I've worked with estate agents before and sold to them in previous sales jobs. I don't want to go back into that. Doesn't mean it's not a good niche for you guys. But a complementary niche to real estate is home improvements. When there are new houses being built all over the place, people with older houses want to improve them because they feel insecure looking at all these new properties. So home improvements is a really great industry in the area. I've seen so many people thriving, so many business owners thriving in the area in home improvements, and that encompasses a whole bunch of different things. So let's go through on the basis of that and see how much opportunity there actually is in home improvements in the area. So now home improvements is also really great for lead generation agencies. Okay, all we need to do is generate leads on platforms like Facebook or Instagram and so on. We can send them over to these individuals. And by home improvements, I mean like renovations, I mean extensions, I mean landscaping, I mean solar. There's so many different angles that you can go down. So even just home improvements Norwich, we've already got so many different businesses here on this list that we could reach out to, okay? But home improvements could also be like kitchen and bathroom showrooms, see kitchen fitting, bricklaying. So we've got a lot. So there's a lot of opportunity around, and actually just to make sure that we don't miss anything out, if we go into ChatGPT and do a new chat, I'm starting an SMMA and my niche is home improvements. What other keywords should I be searching for to find businesses within this niche? Remodeling, handyman services, home repair services, renovation, interior design, it's good. Flooring, plumbing, electrical, painting, landscaping, home insulation. So these are all sub-niches that I can use and develop a lead list from. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity. There's so many different things that come within home improvements in the same sense that if you went for health and fitness, for example, it's not just gyms, it's personal trainers, it's chiropractors, it's osteopaths. Okay, it's people that do alternative therapies, Chinese medicine and so on. There's so many different things. So when you pick a niche, try and think outside of the box. Look at all the sub-niches as well. Don't just be limited to the obvious. Don't be so basic to just go for restaurants, gyms, dentists. You know, there's so many different sub-niches within these larger niches. So I'm going to go for home improvements. That's a decision I'm making. That's the niche I'm going to go for. So let's establish the ICP. And in fact, I want to document this as I'm going. I think I started a Notion board earlier. Yeah. I want to document this out so we can keep track of this. The niche that we're going to be going for is home improvements. Location is Norwich, UK. Again, always start local to you. ICP. Let me just run over to Google and I'll run you through what an ICP is. The ICP is basically your customer profile. It's your ideal client. And you want to get a good understanding of this before you start reaching out to them. You want to really get a good idea of, okay, because not all the businesses within your specific niche are actually going to be suitable for your service. So what industry are they in? What's their geography? We've already established this. What kind of company size are they? This is important. When we're starting off, we don't want to be reaching out to massive companies who've got like 20 plus employees. The likelihood of us signing them up for our service as an amateur, it's pretty low. And now I'm not going to be able to leverage any of the previous case studies that I've got in my other agency, right? I'm not going to use any of those assets. I want this to be a very fair test to you guys. And I want you to see that I'm doing this from scratch. So I'm going to be going for smaller companies. Okay, anything from 1 to 10 employees is going to be kind of the max. And in fact, let's work through this. We'll do a Notion board as we're doing it. Company size is going to be 1 to 10 employees. Budget, that doesn't really matter. We're not really going to, we can, but revenue is something that we really kind of more so need to be known. So Let's say we're starting off, if we're going for home improvements, you're going to have a lot of people that are freelancers, and those people are probably not going to be making more than 10K a month, like if they're doing really well. So we want to make sure that we're going for people that can afford more than that. If we're signing up a 10K a month business, they're not going to be able to spend more than $500 a month on our service, realistically. So in an ideal world, this is going to be like 20K plus per month business. Now, we're not going to be able to establish this necessarily before we actually start reaching out to these clients. This is going to be something that we're going to have to try and figure out on a discovery call with them. But we can try and do the guesswork based on the size they look at, the amount of testimonials they've got, the amount of employees that they've got, if we can find them on LinkedIn, and so on. Who's the decision maker? So decision maker is going to be owner, founder, MD. Okay, so it's going to be the owner of the business. And that's going to be the case with all of you starting off. It's always going to be the owner, founder, MD. If you're a larger agency, sometimes you go for the marketing director and so on, but you don't want to mess around with that in the initial stages. Okay, what are the pain points that someone in the home improvements industry would have? I'm going to do some research on this, but my initial thoughts are it's just lead generation. And it's actually not just lead generation, it's high quality lead flow. Because we don't just want to generate loads of leads for these people if they're not actually people that are going to be spending money. It needs to be people with good budget. Let's do a little bit of research though. In fact, let's just go back to ChatGPT. What would you say are some of the biggest pain points in the home improvement industry that an agency could solve? Now, usual point of call would be go over to Google, but it's crazy now that we can go over to ChatGPT and we can just take basically all the information that's on the internet already and just have it in a concise place. You'd be daft to go over to Google for this information now and go through and spend hours digging through this yourself. Utilize ChatGPT in everything that you do. It's like an ingrained habit in my life and all of my team's life now to use this. Okay, so lead generation, as we said, many home improvements businesses struggle finding new clients, especially in their local area. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Brand awareness, branding. I feel that actually I got a quote on getting a wall built outside of my house, and I was shocked to see how many of these businesses didn't have websites already, didn't have good social media. So branding is a good one. Reputation / reviews. This is a good one. Communication, not going to mess around with that. Content creation. This is quite an interesting one. I think the priority for me here, looking at this list, is good quality lead flow and potentially content creation. Like, I don't have the time to go out and take photos for a business, but what I can do is I can advise them on how to take good photos. They can send them over to us and we can create some good creatives for ads for them. Content creation is a big pain point for them because they don't have time. And it's the last thing they're thinking about. They're thinking about building someone's house. They're thinking about fitting someone's kitchen. They're not thinking about, okay, let me take a before and after photo, whereas they could get some really good photos, get some great before and after photos. What do you think is the most lucrative sub-niche within home improvements? Kitchen and bathroom remodeling is probably what we really need to be going for, is the sub niche which has the most desired service. So what is the one that's going to be the most commonly used? Kitchen and bathroom remodeling is probably that. Probably closely followed by landscapers and gardeners, and then extensions and so on. But I want it to be high ticket enough. So we might want to start off with kitchen and bathroom remodeling. We may find in doing outreach that it's not high ticket enough. Okay, so here we've got a directory. Trusted trade. Let's find one of these businesses. So we've got one here, Hyde Kitchen. So let's have a look at this. So these guys have actually got a really nice website. I wonder if they're running any ads. I just want to see the potential of whether or not these guys are even marketing in the area. So these obviously look like one of the best. Not running ads at the moment. Okay, so what I've done there is I've gone onto Facebook on about page transparency. They're not running any ads. Let's go on one of these guys, I'm guessing they're really not going to have a good online presence at all. But look at that, we've got a mobile number straight away, so we can reach out to them. But we've got to be careful. We don't just want to be reaching out to an individual. It needs to be a company. Okay, so we can see that these people aren't tech savvy, and they're not running ads. Even some of the best ones with best reviews on this. There's only a couple of businesses on here. There's going to be a lot more of them if I probably find another directory out here. Check a Trade is a really good one to look at. Transformed Kitchens, 95 reviews. So these are obviously a much larger business. Might not even have a website. Okay, so we might have our work cut out for us here because lots of these businesses don't even have websites and so on. So we're just going to really, I imagine, and we'll come to this when we do lead generation, but I imagine the best place for us is going to be Google Maps. That's where we're going to find the people that are a little bit more tech savvy. So the opportunity is there, right? The opportunity in the fact that these guys, they're not thinking about okay, well, how can I run Facebook ads? This is almost like a little bit of a blue ocean opportunity because these guys aren't tech savvy at all. Lots of them are running from word of mouth and so on and getting referrals. So there's a lot of opportunity for us as agency owners. So where were we? We're doing ICP anyway. Let's go back to that. So their main business goals are delivering a good service and making money, isn't it? I want to add another potential thing here. on this. We don't need to worry about technologies or attributes, but I want to do potential bottlenecks because we've encountered here that these guys really aren't tech savvy. So they might be tech phobic, which can go against us if they're like, well, I don't need a website. Why do I need a Facebook page and so on? So that's probably going to be something we're going to come into. One-man bands is something we're going to have to avoid. I think that's pretty much going to be the main issues that we're going to face. And also understaffed. I hear a lot of stuff about us having a employment issue at the moment, like a staffing issue within these trades. And so we want to make sure people can actually take on the work and that they're not at full capacity already. I imagine lots of the people we'll speak to will be at full capacity, so we're going to make sure that we need to be mindful of that. So that is our ICP. Let's move on. Service. So we've kind of already really established it based on this information. Based on the fact that we've looked at a couple of people's websites, based on the fact that nobody is running Facebook ads, and I will just check this on the Facebook ad library as well. So if I go, and we go on, let's say we go on. This is one of my first ever clients. Supreme Kitchen and Bathroom Showroom. This is one of the first clients that I ever signed up. Actually, I think it was my third client that I ever signed up and ever worked with. I got a blast from the past. Brilliant. Okay, your page transparency, not running ads. Shame on you. Supreme shame on you. You didn't learn anything, did you? Okay, so let's go and do kitchen Norwich. Okay, here we go. What have we got? So these are... Can we filter this by a certain area? No. So this is just kitchen Norwich. These are estate agents. These are all like estate agency ads, real estate ads, but not actually. This is Mulberry Kitchen Studios. So this is actually, there's one company in Norwich, in Norfolk, Mulberry Kitchens. I've seen these guys before. Nice established business. And they are running ads. It's currently running ads. Let's see if we can find another one. Royal Norwich. No, that looks like a Persimmon developer. Okay, so there is one kitchen and bathroom showroom in Norwich, as far as we can see, that is running ads right now. And they're obviously performing really well. They launched these ads in May. They launched them on the 10th of May, so they've been running for almost a month now. They're obviously getting some decent results. This ad's been running since the 12th of April. You only have an ad running since the 12th of April if it's delivering great results. So as far as I'm concerned, the lowest hanging fruit. For the majority of agencies, ads, or to the majority of new start agencies, if you don't know what kind of service that you're going to deliver, if you don't know, you don't have a foundational skill, ads is the lowest hanging fruit. You could, in this instance, deliver content creation, you could do social media management, you could do branding and websites, but ads is what's going to make you the most money. I'd actually think probably followed by website creation. But if you don't have any experience, right, creating websites is going to be a little bit more complicated for you, although we are going to go through building an agency website in a minute. I believe that ads is something that you can learn. I know that ads is something that you can learn in a relatively short time, especially when it comes to lead generation results. If you know somebody that can generate lead generation results with ads and you can just use the strategy that they've taught you, then it's very easy to get yourself off the ground running. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be Facebook ads. Let's call it the proper name. Meta ads. Seeing as a change now. And that includes Instagram as well, of course. So that's the service. Agency name. Let's continue with some GPT stuff. Now, as far as naming conventions are concerned, I see a lot of people waste time with this. And ultimately, your name doesn't actually really matter so much with your agency. Like, your name is something that... it matters to an extent that if you've got a really name and it's going to go against you in the future, then that's going to hurt you. But the majority of people don't have offensive agency names. And so for the majority of you, it's not worth procrastinating to the extent that you don't actually get started soon. Most of the time, your best option is picking a name which is related to your personal name. You know, like my original agency was Platten Enterprises. In fact, when I first started, I didn't even have an agency. It was just Jordan Platten, but then I did Platten Enterprises, which isn't really a great name. But you might want to do your initials, then media or marketing and so on and so on. You can keep this pretty simple. It doesn't need to be too creative. So let's say you're getting really stuck for ideas. First of all, you can use ChatGPT to come up with generic agency names. Like, not all of you are going to be going for a specific niche straight away when you first get started. You might want to keep your name more general, okay, just some kind of marketing-based name, like all of the agencies that you saw in Norwich, okay, all those different kind of very broad agency names. I want to get the quickest results in the shortest time possible for the purpose of this video, so I'm going to make it niche-specific. So when I mention our agency name, it's going to show to that niche that we only work with that industry. So I'm going to ask GPT, can you help me come up with an agency name My niche is home improvement. Give me 20 options. Homebound digital, home make media, Reno Reach. Reno Reach. I really like that. Reno Reach. I'd be surprised that wasn't taken. So now the caveat to this is don't get too excited over a name that you find. You need to make sure that it's actually available as a domain. Okay, domain is obviously the URL that you got. Now I use GoDaddy as a domain host. Let's see if that is available. Reno Reach. RenoReach.co.uk. RenoReach.com. Look at that. That's awesome. So we've got home renovations. We've got Reno Reach. I like that. Reno meaning. Is Reno short for renovation? Yeah, Reno. A Reno. Yeah, I had a Reno on a house, a renovation. Okay, cool. I think we're going to go for that. Let's not procrastinate on this. I like Reno Reach. Let's go over to Google and make sure there's no other business. Reno Reach. Cool. Let's do it. Reno Reach. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and buy this domain name. Nice. Okay, and now we need to create the logo. Smashing through this. This is the world's quickest agency brand created, but this is solid. Like if one of my students came to me with this, they had the plan here. This is solid. This is some great foundations right now. Let's go over to Google and let's find an AI logo creator. I want to make this something that you guys can go and do. Like you could go and use canva.com at this stage to go create a logo. You could go over to fiverr.com and go pay a logo designer. There's plenty of people on Fiverr that'll be more than capable of creating a really good logo for you. I personally think that we won't need to do this. You can see, look at all these people, £17, £30, £55, and so on. You can go and do that, or you can go and play around with Canva. I'm going to go and find an AI logo generator. Logo.com. I'm just going to dig up the options and see what we think looks like the best tool. Let's see what these dig up. Let's come up with one. See, now, I generally, broadly speaking, like, you could argue that you could be a lot more creative in your own personal time to actually come up with this. And I would recommend giving this some proper thought in your own time as well. And so, like, let's say you were coming up with a slogan. Not all agencies need slogans, by the way. Like, it is quite nice to have something attached to it if it's kind of a simple industry. But there's something quite enjoyable and pleasurable about having a glass of wine, sitting in the evening, planning out your business. Like, personally, those were some of the best memories of my entire business, were those very early stages of hanging out on my own in the evening, plotting, like planning the chess moves for the brand Affluent.co. I had so much pleasure in planning all of that out, and you could argue that using AI tools takes away from that pleasurable side of the business. So if you are creative naturally, we've got time constraints here, but if you're a creative person naturally, I would recommend giving yourself the benefit and the pleasure of going through and building out this brand for yourself, but not if it's at the detriment of you actually doing it in a timely manner. Do not spend any more than a day doing it, or a couple of days max. Okay, your Reno Reach. That's nice. That's really nice. Your Reno Reach. Let's see if that looks cheesy on a logo. I don't think slogans always have a good fit. Colors. Let's just see if there's any kind of like typical colors used within home improvements. We want this to be familiar. Obviously blue is used. Blue is a color of trust. That's why a lot of people use it. I want to see if there are any kind of typical. Obviously you got the B&Q, which is, I don't know if you have this wherever you are. It's a big department store. That's quite an interesting one. What are the biggest retailers used in the home improvement industry, UK? B&Q and Screwfix. Screwfix is a good one. So we don't want to like rip off someone's branding ever, but if you can associate, there can be an association between a color and an industry, so it's like almost like recognizable to an extent. I think that's like, it's always worth exploring that. I really don't like this color, this dark blue. You kind of don't want to let your emotions get involved as well, but I really don't like that dark blue color. It like reminds me of school for some reason. Like I'm not a fan of that. But what about the B&Q color code? We could definitely take that color. Okay. let's see. Let's go with an orange. And let's go with a bold. Okay. And let's do with icons first of all. Renovation. Home improvements. Okay. It's like very on brand. Looks like a tool. These are such typical logos used. Like, don't get sucked into using something like that. Also, just like text is also just nice. Like, if in doubt, when it comes to an emblem, just use text. Like, don't get sucked into. This is also nice. Okay, I'm going to give another logo maker an opportunity to do this. Just do brand mark. See if the word increase makes a difference. I like that, but I don't like the font. I wonder if we can play on this. Let's edit this and let's change the font. Okay, what do we got? Oh, I like that. It's very on brand. This is difficult. We have two completely different brands here. This is what I would personally gravitate to the most. This is the one that if it was for me, if this brand was built for me, and let's just make this fair because we want to make sure the colors are actually correct as well. So let's make the color actually the same. So if I was creating this logo, this is probably like, well, I am creating a logo, but if this was like catering to me, and I was like, okay, if I started a construction, home improvement type business, what would I want the logo to look like? Okay, what would I like gravitate to the most? And it is this kind of like more kind of modern. We have the traffic cone, which kind of simulates like construction type thing, but it's a more modern kind of clean font. That being said, there's something about this which feels a little bit old school. And because of that, I like it, because the home improvements industry is very old school in a sense. I'm going to get a second opinion in here and ask. I've got two completely different logos. This is like very modern, but then there's something about me which is gravitating to this because it feels old school in a way. Like,
yeah, I like it.
It's
the
like
only thing I'd say is it's quite construction-y. Like as if the company's construction.
Yeah, that's what it is, a bit construction-y.
That to me feels way more marketing.
Yeah, I'm going to change this logo at the bottom here, but do you think the cone is still a little bit construction-y?
No, I think in a cool way though.
Yeah, but this font is nice, isn't it? This main font.
Yeah.
Right, let's get this bad boy finalised. So let's change the slogan font, open sans, get rid of the italics. It's nice, more crisp, and we're not going to be using the orange background. We'll be using the orange for the actual logo. So FF650. Nice. There we have it. Right. How do we save this? Save purchase. $25 for a one-time purchase. That's decent. $25 one-time purchase has taken us under an hour to get this logo. Like, we would pay more than that to someone decent on Fiverr and definitely not have it within an hour. So yeah, love it. Right, I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. So we're going to want transparent PNG. We're going to want that white background there as well. This is actually really nice. You can see this in different colorways. This is a good tool. Awesome. Okay, fine. Let's add this to our Notion board. Let's add a cover image to the Notion. Okay, that's clean. Nice. So that's the logo out of the way. Let's move on to creating the website. What's the time? Not too bad. I'm going to make a tea, stretch my legs, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, Just realized we skipped a really crucial step. Before doing the logo, before even thinking about the website, we need to plan our offer. Now, an offer is our way of proposing value to our niche home improvements. It's the specific result of our service. It's not our service, it's the specific result that our niche can expect to get from our service, and it needs to tap into the pain points that they're experiencing. Now, it's important that we plan the offer before we do any of this, because the offer is going to dictate a lot of the content that is on our website, especially when it comes to the copywriting. So let's dive into that first. Okay, so by the way, yerba mate tea, I think that's how you say it. Highly recommend. It's got caffeine in it still. Curbs the need to have that afternoon coffee if you're a bit of a coffee fiend. So let's add this to this first of all. In fact, for now, we'll just put it underneath here. Side service and offer. So let's keep doing this on Notion, and I'll create an offer section underneath the ICP. So there are two main components to building an offer. First one is NSVP, which is niche specific value proposition. And then the second is our actual offer. These two components make up an offer statement. Most agencies just get this offer part, okay? They miss out this NSVP, but the NSVP is our emotional buy-in. It's an emotional statement which feeds into the specific desires of our specific niche, and then we're sometimes going to highlight some pain points as well, some without statements and so on. So this will look something along the lines of, we help niche achieve results without pain. So we help this specific niche achieve this result without experiencing this pain. Okay, so it's a statement which feeds into their emotion. And this is a precursor to the actual offer, which is the specific result that we're going to put forward. Now, in our instance, this might be something like, we help home improvement businesses generate qualified leads, okay, because they want high quality lead flow without doing anything themselves. Okay, this is very primitive, but I'm going to pump this into ChatGPT in a moment and we'll see what it fires back. Normally I'd spend an hour or so kind of creating iterations of this, reading it out loud until I found something that I was happy with. But we've got AI on our hands. Okay, offer is the specific tangible result. Okay, so get specific result within time frame or risk reversal. So we're going to mention a specific result that they can expect: 10 leads, 20 leads, 30 appointments, 50% increase in sales, whatever that may be, 100% increase in conversion rate, okay, within this time frame, 30 days, 7 days, 30 days is pretty typical, or risk reversal. Risk reversal is some kind of guarantee, or you don't pay, or pay on results basis. We're taking the risk away from the client. So in this instance, it might be coming up with a specific result is quite tricky in this instance, and it is going to be for any of you who are working with a niche that you haven't worked with before. And the really important factor to take in is to always try and under-promise and over-deliver. So many agencies make the mistake of over-promising and under-delivering. They promise 50 new qualified leads, and even if they generate 45 and the client's making loads of money, they're still going to be disappointed because they're not getting what they were actually promised in the first place. Whereas if the agency just promised 30 leads and still generated 45, they're delivering the exact same result, but the perception has completely changed, the client happiness has completely changed, the likelihood of getting referrals and testimonials has completely changed, all because of the ability of that agency to under-promise and over-deliver. And we see this in so many times in business all over the place. I ordered a Mac a couple of weeks ago from Apple. Apple famously under-promise and over-deliver. They say, oh, your delivery is going to be on the 10th of June. Turns up on the 6th of June. They know it's always going to turn up on the 6th, but they tell you it's going to turn up on the 10th so you have a better experience and you buy from them again. Now, as a general rule of thumb, if you haven't worked with a niche before, you can guarantee 10 qualified leads. Okay, that's not going to be many in some industries, and this will vary from place to place. I would speculate, and I haven't worked with home improvements for about 4 years now, that we're going to generate, it's going to cost us between 10 and 30 pounds per lead. So even if you said 25 pounds per lead, if we're spending 500 pounds a month on ads, which is probably where I'd start the ad budget, nice and conservative, then we're generating 20 leads. Okay, so if I promise 10, I'm going to over deliver. We want to factor that in. Now I could message the Affluent Academy, there's hundreds of agency owners in there, and ask someone who's worked with home improvements to give me a number, but it's not fair on you guys for the purpose of this series, where I'm just trying to make this as legit as possible. So we're going to promise 10 qualified leads. within, we're going to do 30 days because it's going to be a monthly revolving contract, and we're going to do or you don't pay. So we're going to have a guarantee of results here. I think it's really important that all agencies have a guarantee of results and kind of risk reversal these days. If you don't have this, you're not putting your money where your mouth is, and you're not going to be able to compete with your competitors. So if in doubt, just under promise and over deliver. Okay. Now this offer will evolve over time. The minute I've started working with a home improvement business and I know what specific result I can get for them, this is going to be a lot more. Okay, this number's going to increase. So I'm going to increase it moderately. I'm not going to bring it to the max. If I've got a client and I've generated 60 leads for them, I'm not going to set it at 60. I'm going to set it kind of at like the lower average of the clients, the result that I'm getting from the clients. So let's get rid of these and let's go over to ChatGPT and see what it spits out. Can you give me 5 other variations of this NSVP? Let's see. We empower home improvement businesses by driving qualified leads to them, allowing them to focus on what they do best. That's nice. Our services ensure a steady stream of qualified leads for home improvement businesses, all without lifting a finger. We specialize in securing high quality leads for home improvement businesses, freeing them from the complexities of lead generation. Complexities of lead generation itself is quite a complex statement, so I don't know if that'll fit. Providing with qualified leads while they focus on their craft. Okay, so these are nice. These are all nice angles. I like this without lifting a finger. Can you play on without any heavy lifting? I like that because it's very niche specific. We're playing on words with home improvements. We bring a consistent flow of qualified leads to home improvement businesses, ensuring they secure new contracts without any heavy lifting. Okay, I think we can make this a lot simpler. Let's play around with this. We generate qualified home improvement leads for you. No heavy lifting required. Okay, we generate qualified home improvement leads for you. No heavy lifting required. Okay, I like this. So we're talking about the specific desired result, the qualified home improvement leads for you. No heavy lifting required. We help home improvement companies grow by generating. We help home improvement companies grow by generating qualified leads with no heavy lifting required. Let me play off that. This is definitely the statement. And the reason I like it is I like the use of simplify, especially as we've established these businesses are tech phobic, okay? They don't have great websites, don't have great social media, so we want to keep things simple. We also are staying away from jargon and marketing terms. It's very simple English, okay? Because we want this to be received in the way that we intend it to be. So we simplify growth for home improvement companies by delivering quality leads with no heavy lifting required. Now with the offer statement, I want to keep this really simple. So get 10 qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. This is basically offers 101. 10 new qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. I'm quite happy with that. Now, if we get rid of these and we look at our overall offer statement now, we simplify growth for home improvement companies by delivering quality leads with no heavy lifting required. Get 10 new qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. I'm very happy with that. We'll play around with the copywriting when it comes to the website. But imagine if, like most agencies do, you just had this offer statement. Get 10 new qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. How are you going to do that? That sounds complicated. Oh, well, I'm going to have to do a load of extra work for that. Okay, all these excuses and objections and so on that this lead might have. Well, just with this NSVP added to it, we simplify growth, so you know it's something simple for home improvement companies, by delivering quality leads with no heavy lifting required. So it is simple and you're not going to have to do any extra work yourself. So we're getting rid of two of the biggest objections that they could have just by adding this NSVP at the start of our offer. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the website. So we've got a number of options when it comes to building a website. I want to keep this as simple as possible. We could use Wix.com, we can use Squarespace, and we can also use a tool called GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel is what we're actually going to use. It's an all-in-one agency management tool. You can use it as a CRM and also as a web builder, but it's really important that you use a drag-and-drop web builder that has templates that you can use, because you don't want to spend any more than one day building out your website. Half a day. I'm going to be attempting to do this in literally a couple of hours. And you do this because your website is going to evolve over time. And there's always limited amount of information that you can put on your website when you're first starting a business. So many people have these massive about pages, way too many stock images, and all these different services that they're listing. You don't need it. Your website is simply just to show that you're a professional company and that you are who you say you are. And when someone clicks on your domain from your email, you've actually got a website up there and you don't just look like some back bedroom business. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do this on GoHighLevel. HighLevel you will have heard of if you've been in the agency space. This isn't going to be a big in-depth tutorial of HighLevel because we're going to be going through the tool throughout the next couple of episodes. I'll put a link in the description. You can sign up to a 14-day free trial, but I don't care if you do use HighLevel or not. You can use any web builder as far as I care. But HighLevel does have the ability for you to use it as a CRM and the pipeline management tool as well, which is why I like it now. And the caveat is 3 years ago when I used HighLevel, I hated the tool, but actually they got a lot of investment a couple of years ago. They're doing a really good job right now, and they're pretty much dominating the agency software space. So you're going to hit 14-day free trial, create an account, and I'm going to go ahead and create an account now. Right, so when you've made an account, you'll be taken through to the dashboard. You've got navigation on the left-hand side. This is where you can look at your calendar, any leads that you've got, your opportunities as well. We're going to come back to this in a future app. But for now, we're going to skip down to sites. You'll also notice that my logo says just close. Yours will say GoHighLevel. When you have a premium account, you're able to what's called white label the software, so you can change it so it's in your own branding. But yours will be exactly the same, identical, apart from this logo. So we have funnels and we have websites. They're both pretty much the same thing. A website typically is a multi-page site, and a funnel typically is a sales optimized single page landing page. Okay. Now we'll start off by looking at funnels, and we're going to go on template library. Typically, I imagine these are going to be more optimized for what we need them for. They're going to be more simple. And there's a whole bunch of different templates that we can look at. So a couple things to highlight. I'm not looking for one which has loads of images like this, for example. We've got loads of images going on here. We're just not going to have this many images as a new start agency. And when you start using too many stock images, like you can start just look a little bit like it's just basic having all them stock images. So avoid it unless you've got loads of content and you're a content agency. Generally, we want something that's just a lot more simpler. Okay, so I'm looking for something as simple as possible. Go over and look at websites as well. Template library. You can even type in agency and see what comes up. Okay, marketing agency. These look a little bit primitive looking at those. Agency landing page. Let's have a look at this. So typically the only things that we need on our page, we'll probably get rid of this navigation. We just need a hero section, which is a good section at the top where we're going to have our NSVP or our offer. We're then going to have either our services or the process in our business. Might have a little bit of an about us. We're going to get rid of this because we won't have like all the results we can talk about. And then we'll get rid of pricing. Typically, we just want a contact form, so we can add a contact form to the bottom of the page and a call to action button. So really, they're the main components. We want the hero section. We want to either have our services or our process. We're going to have a tiny about us and then a call to action with a form. So I'm going to go with this template here. This is actually one I created for a client ages ago. It's really simple. You'll be able to replicate it in less than an hour on GoHighLevel. We just have that hero section up the top. We have either who we are or our service. We've got a little bit of like testimonials, results. We're going to get rid of that because we're not going to have any starting off. I'll probably replace this with either like our service or maybe our process. I'm going to change this to an order form of sorts. I don't want to put an address and a phone number and a call to action button, maybe some features and benefits at the bottom. But again, call to action buttons all going to the same place. They should open up a form where somebody can submit their details and redeem the offer. Okay, so very simple landing page. You do not need anything more than this when you're first starting out. So I hit edit page. This web builder will be familiar if you've ever built a website before. At the top, we've got our kind of a navigation for the different sections. So we have sections in green. Then we have our rows, which I think are, our rows are in pink. Okay, so that's the actual content areas. And then we have our kind of elements and columns in orange. We can go ahead and just click manage on any of these and highlight over any sections, and it will just take us to the relevant area. On the left-hand side, we have all of our main navigation. So if I click on this title here, I can move it around. If I go drag it around, okay, I can change the text. I can go down the left and change the color there as well. In fact, let's change that to our brand color. Okay, add color. There you go. Same again for the buttons. Get rid of that border there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work down this page and fill in the frameworks. I'm going to work on the framework first, so get all the right things in the right places. Then we'll work on the copy and then obviously publish and so on. So let's get to it. So you see this is a two-part section here. There's 2 columns, in this overall section. I don't want 2 columns. I'm just going to have a single. So I got rid of that column and just have a single column where I'm going to add a form. Scroll down. Form. There you go. Don't have any forms yet. Fine. I can always add one shortly. So what I'm looking for here is a feature image. So we've got a little image and then we've got some text. This is perfect for things like mentioning the service or process. I say service or process because more than that, it's going to get a little bit complicated. If you have multiple services that you're offering, then it might be worth mentioning that. But here, all we're really doing is lead generation through Facebook lead form ads, which are very, very simple ads, don't require a landing page. So we're better off going through the process, especially as we've established again, the niche isn't very tech savvy, so we can then explain it. If they understand it, then they're more likely to want to buy it because it's not all hieroglyphs to them, right? Now in our instance, I'm actually thinking I'm going to do this as the process. So like for a 3-step process of how things work with us, we're just doing lead generation for a Facebook lead form. So it's a very, very simple service. It doesn't need much explanation. So if we go through the process, then we can help our niche understand exactly what it is we're doing for them in simple terms. So it's just going to be like step 1, step 2, step 3. Cool. Choose the logo up the top. Make that bigger so this looks more central. Let's just see what that looks like. Preview throughout so you can see. Need some spacing at the top there as well. Okay, much nicer. Let's change the background image here. And first we need to find one, of course. Now it's really important that when you are getting imagery for your website, you're not just taking it off Google, because you can have all sorts of issues when it comes to copyright. You need to make sure you're using a royalty-free search engine like Pexels, for example. Pexels are used all the time. There are other ones out there, but Pexels I found to be pretty great. So if I type in home improvement, what I'm going to look for really is an image that... How many images have I got on here? I've got 1, 2. Okay, so I need imagery that is going to cater to the entire niche. You don't want to have imagery like this. In home improvement, for example, we've got the construction side. We've also got like the kitchen, more polished side. Solar, whatever. So we don't want to just do, for example, these construction images that cancel out or put off the rest of the market. What we really need is a mix of the two. So that's what I'm looking for. So something like this is really nice. I think that would be really nice for the hero section. So if I download that, let's just find the second image as well for near the call to action. Something more construction-y. What is this like? We'll see what it looks like. Download. If we go back to the builder, upload this image. Use this one for the hero. We need to scroll down and do background color. So we need to put a color overlay on top. And then we're going to do background image opacity, heavy fade. So now we have this kind of fade over the top, so it's much easier to read. That looks clean. I like that a lot. Let's just preview it. Yeah, that's clean. So let's move on to the copy framework. Typically, it's better to have your NSVP at the top of the page. So we're going to have NSVP here, and then we want to have a call to action towards the bottom of the page with our offer statement. So we have a contact form. This would be a good one for our offer. So we have offer, we have our NSVP. These are going to be things to complement the NSVP. Who are we? A little bit about us. Our process, benefits. I don't know if we're going to be doing the full 5 benefits yet. Things like money back guarantee, qualified leads, guaranteed results, whatever. I think we'll come up with those shortly. But if we have a look at this should be a pretty solid framework for us to go on. Nice. Okay. I'm overdue some fresh air, so I'm going to go for a quick walk, digest on this copy a little bit, think of some ideas, and we'll get back to it. Okay. Fucking hell. Thank God I'm not a vlogger. Anyway, look at these views. Try to get out and escape digital at least once a day. People don't realize how cooped up they are in a house, just behind a screen, behind your phone. And we need to get that vitamin D. We need to breathe the air, get in your own head, get in your own thoughts. I don't even understand how people can think straight if you don't spend at least half hour, an hour outside every day to get cabin fever. Just thinking about this copy on the website and even our offer statement, and we're using the word lead, we get you qualified leads, but leads isn't even a term in the home improvement industry, is it? Like, I got a quote on getting a wall built outside my house by 4 different bricklayers within the last 6 months. And every single time it's a quote. We'll get your quote out. I've got quite a lot of quotes going on at the moment. And no one's talking about leads. I'll do a bit of research when we get back, but it might be better for us to use quote instead of lead in our offer statement, in our NSVP, and especially on our website. It's always important that we speak the language that the niche speaks. Because if we're promising something that they don't even desire or they don't associate with, then we're fighting an uphill battle before we've even got started. Okay, let's finish this bad boy off. So, just want to, whilst that's on my mind, change some of the copy here. On the note of quotes instead of leads. Simplify growth for home improvement companies by sourcing potential clients ready for quotes with no heavy lifting involved. We make it easy for home improvement businesses to grow by generating leads ready for quoting without any heavy lifting required. Okay. This is interesting. I like this. Let's write this down because I want to just have this on hand just in case. If there's somewhere fitting on the website for us to talk about like quote ready leads. Oh, quote ready leads. I like that. Okay. I'm going to write down some terminology on this page either way. Write some random quote, some copy notes. When you're thinking of copy, like you always want to just be like writing things down and it comes to your mind. So like quote ready leads. I like that. I feel better about that. We simplify growth for home improvement companies by sourcing quote-ready leads with no heavy lifting required. If they refer to quotes as leads, this works. If they refer to leads as quotes, whatever, it works. Home improvement industry is typically an industry where you go to a kitchen fitter or so on when you need them. Typically speaking, they're not calling you up, and therefore it's not a sales-driven industry, although all businesses are technically sales-driven businesses. It's not a sales-heavy business. And therefore, a lot of these business owners may not be used to the term leads, which is why I don't want to put them off if they're not. Okay, many of them will be working on word of mouth, especially in my local area, Norfolk. Like people who are born in Norfolk don't typically leave Norfolk, especially businesses. And therefore, I want to make sure we're covering all grounds. So let's go with this. So how can we apply this to the website? Let's just go back to high level and then see what we can do. So let's start off with the NSVP. Okay, that's going to be too long. I'm going to get rid of that. And let's put that here. This is too much. I remember earlier we wrote a simplified version of this. Let's try that. Let's make this bold. Let's do lead. Quote ready leads for you. I like this term quote ready. We generate quote ready home improvement leads for you. What's similar to this? Effortless. Effortless business growth. Effortless business growth. We generate quote ready home improvement leads for you. No heavy lifting required. Love it. Get more leads. Nice. Simple call to action. We always want to keep this simple. I hate seeing like these really long ClickFunnels-esque call to actions. Right, let's go down the page. In fact, whilst we're on NSVP, let's go where we're putting the offer. I want to put the offer here. Get 10 qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. Let's see what this looks like. It's too long. Can we put a subtext underneath this? Subheadline. Change that color. So typically we want to have a time frame, but this looks so much cleaner on the website. We could have it here. Get 10 new qualified leads within 30 days or you don't pay. Nice, clean. Get 10 new quote ready leads. Okay, who are we? Help me write a who are we section for Renault Reach. Make it no longer than this. That's longer. That's definitely longer. Make it shorter. Mention we're based in Norwich. Okay, I want to mention the location. This is going to go in our favour. Cool. This is clean. We're a Norwich-based agency that helps home improvement companies by delivering top-tier, quote-ready leads through strategic advertising on popular social media sites. Our targeted approach not only frees you up to concentrate on your work, but also ensures your growth is driven by genuinely interested clients, making your business expansion smooth and efficient. Your business growth, smooth and efficient. Nice. Like it. Again, like we can revisit this at any time and just change this copy, but for now we just want a base. So our process, step 1, step 2, and step 3. So let's plan this on here first. Step 1, we're going to gather content. I don't want to do content creation. Step 2, launch ads. Step 3, generate leads. Gather content, launch ads, generate leads. Now for the sections underneath, okay, gather content. In the initial step, we collect visuals that highlight your craftsmanship. These form the foundation of our strategy, serving to attract a greater number of potential clients to your business. Next, we launch ads based on the content we've collected. These ads are strategically designed and placed on popular social media platforms to capture clients' attention. Finally, we collect information from individuals who are genuinely interested in your services, prioritizing quote-ready leads and eliminating tire kickers. Cool. Tire kickers is a term for someone who's not interested. It's kicking the tire, looking at the car. Right, let's get an icon for each of these. So we want a number of some sort. So let's do this on flat icon. So flat icon is a free icon directory. And there are premium ones on here as well. But actually the free library is pretty amazing. Happy with this. We can also make this the orange color. We will then hit edit icon. We can choose a new color. I'm going to do a custom palette. Let's get the color of our brand. Okay, download. Now if we go back over, change the image. What are some of the big pains? So results guarantee, quote ready leads. Okay, so we've got these benefits at the bottom. This is not necessary, but just from a design perspective, it looks quite clean. Industry specialist, guaranteed results, qualified leads. What else do we need to change on here? So we're pretty much there, right? The only thing that we need to do now is create this pop-up and update this form. This button as well, just to want to submit that form. So let's go ahead and edit the pop-up and then we'll go and create the form. To edit a pop-up, I'm clicking that button there. And if we go on pop-up settings, we want to change the background, the border color. There you go. And then we can get 10 quote ready leads. And then we'll do the subheadline. And then 30 days or you don't pay. So we're reaffirming that offer. Okay, I'm gonna make this text a bit smaller. 10 quote ready leads in 30 days or you don't pay. Let's change the spacing on that a little bit. Okay, cool. This looks clean. So now I just need to update this form. So if we make sure the website is saved, we come off this here. So we go in Forms, Builder, Add Form, And we want to take full name. We're going to take email address. Let's take phone number. And let's take some information. Can we take like a bit of text? Let's make that smaller for sure. Tell us about your project. Okay. Can I center that left? Perfect. So we need to change the on submit message. Okay, here we go. So this is our finished website. We've got our hero section with our NSVP. Press get more leads. It takes you through to the application form, which you can submit. We've got a who are we, our process, and then we've got our application form again with our offer directly on page. We've got simple kind of benefits, which isn't necessary, and then just a footer. So a very clean, simple one-page landing page. You do not need any more information than this when you're first starting your agency. The final thing we need to do is actually get this launched on the domain, so it's RenaultReach.com, and we also need to change the metadata at the top. To do that, we go SEO metadata, Renault Reach, experts. ChatGPT, its final task for the day. Nice. Renault Reach, fueling home improvement growth. I like that. Let's go with effortless home improvement growth. And then Renault Reach, we simplify growth for home improvement businesses. We find high quality leads, freeing you from the heavy lifting. Let's build your success together. And then we can also add the keywords and so on. This is for Google. So when people search for us, so we do home improvement leads, Norwich home improvement, Norwich home renovations, author, Renault Reach, social image. This is basically what people see if they share the link. Okay, update metadata, hit save. We then also want to get a Facebook pixel set up on here as well, which we can input into this tracking code. And now the final thing we need to do is set up the domain. In fact, I'm going to do our tagline, your Renault Reach. Okay. So we want to go settings. I'm going to change this to go. This is home. Okay. And go settings. And then go add domains. Add new domain. Now we need to add these DNS settings as a record to our domain. So I'm going to go on to GoDaddy. I'll log in. Go DNS, add new record, a record, the value is here, and actually let's do a CNAME. CNAME will be better. So we don't do CNAME. So here we go. And it's going to be www. Leave that default and hit save. Get rid of this one here first of all. You can't have a conflicting CNAME. Save. Cool. This will take a little while to go. It's going to validate. Okay, that was quick. Okay, now if we go back, go on sites, select the domain, hit save. I'm going to change this to go. Okay, cool. www.renaultreach.com. Normally it takes up to 24 hours. Yeah, so it hasn't loaded yet, but this will do within 24 hours. RenaultReach.com will be live. Cool. So guys, let's go back to the plan. Today, in one day, I'm exhausted. We have managed to choose a niche, establish the ICP, decide the service, the offer, the NSVP. our agency name, we've created a logo, and we have created a website. Meanwhile, you've been pissing about for the last 2 weeks trying to pick a niche. I need to go chill. Next up, we have lead generation and outreach. Let's go get some meetings. Cheers. Morning, could you pop me through to Gareth, please? Morning, could you pop me through to Mark, please? Hiya, can I speak to Andy, please? Morning, can I speak to Jonathan, please?
He's not in the building today. He'll be back in the morning.
Okay, no worries. Hi Andy, my name's Jordan. I know you're busy, so I'll be really quick. I just wondered whether you guys could handle another 5 or so quotes at the minute.
No.
Afternoon, can I speak to Rob, please?
He's not in the office at the moment. Can I take a message?
No, that's all right. It's a little bit of a complex of a topic. Hi, could you pop me through to Adrian, please?
I think you just called me.
Say it again?
You just called me.
Oh.
Same company.
Oh, okay, that was awkward.
Give me a phone call back again next week, and then I'll have time to have a chat with you. But
Okay.
we are busy ourselves, but I'm always interested in to see how people can produce leads.
Yeah.
And obviously do it that way. So yeah, no, give me a phone call back next week when I've got more time.